Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at what you are dealing with in 2025, what you need to know right now moving into the new year, and what to know and expect in 2026. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Sagittarius, let's jump on in. We're going to start with overall energy through oracle cards first. So we're going to look at the energy in 2025, what you need to know right now to set yourself up for the most aligned 2026. So let's dive in to this past energy here. Let's see what you guys have been dealing with in 2025. Nothing will come of this situation hitting some sort of a dead end, but then you have a personal issue reaches resolution, and your dreams need a practical plan. 2025 did not go as expected, to say the least. I think that there were a lot of moments where you felt things were progressing or working out in a certain way. And then I think that I don't necessarily know if the energy is very like if you were blindsided or what, but I definitely believe that you were kind of forced into a redirection that you didn't want or really ask for here. And I think now, this is about kind of regrouping before 2026 and kind of understanding what the purpose of this was. Because, I think that not finding success or love in the way that you thought, maybe having really big expectations and feeling really let down in a lot of ways, but let's move forward into current energy here for you, Sagittarius. Bring love into the situation. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So, because this has been this energy of struggle, and I think this has been lasting for a while. But I think that you're nearing, it's kind of like light at the end of the tunnel kind of energy. But you have this bring love into the situation card. And this is love for yourself. Like you are deserving, capable, worthy of good things here, Sagittarius, even if it feels like no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to reach them. I think, you know what it is? I think you've been working through a lot of resistance. I think that that's a lot of what 2025 was, working through a lot of resistance. Showing up even when it was hard, even when you didn't want to, even when it felt impossible, but doing it anyway. It's kind of like breaking yourself free almost. Setting yourself free almost. What does Sagittarius need to know about 2026? Be bold to make the first move. 2026 is all about expansion. Yeah, it's almost like this, you've been blocked. You've been blocked by, them believe in the impossible. It's like this, gate opens up. That's what I'm imagining. You're finally able to enter the spaces that you've been fighting so hard to be in. You've been working through a lot of resistance. And then, now all of a sudden, it opens up possibilities that I feel like you're not aware of yet. This is exciting. This is really exciting energy. Work through your fears. I think this is what you have been doing. Working through fear and doubt and insecurity, you know, doing that inner work, the healing, all that fun stuff. Okay. Let's get overall theme of this for you, Sagittarius. Whoa. Let's try that again. Overall theme of this reading for Sagittarius. These cards are so flimsy. They have been since the day I got them. It's hard to keep a handle on them. Magic. Feels like magic. How things work out. Like, that's kind of what I heard. It feels like magic, but it's not magic. Lucky. This is it. It's like, you know how they say, you know, when you work really hard and you build something for yourself, and then people go, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky to get to experience that success, or to get to experience, you know, that relationship or whatever. And you're like, I worked my ass off to get here. Like, I went through a lot to, you know, I overcame a lot, and I learned and healed and grew a lot to get here. That's what 2026 is. It feels like this payoff. And I've learned, you know, that's what manifestation is all about. You know, I think a lot of people think manifestation is like an outer experience. The majority of manifestation happens within. It's the growth, it's the shifting of beliefs, it's, you know, the alignment of thoughts, beliefs, and actions. And then when it happens outside, it looks like it happened overnight, but it's like it didn't happen overnight. It took years of that inner work before things started to fall into place. So this is what's really interesting about 2026 is it feels like, you know, everything that you've worked through, and I've always said this, that obstacles and challenges are opportunities for growth and further alignment. And if we're willing to look at them that way, then, you know, we essentially become unstoppable, because then we don't let an obstacle and challenge define our experience or like where we're able to go. We allow it to become part of the journey of getting us there. And I think that for you, you probably have had a lot of reasons to, you know, to give up or to throw in the towel or to stop showing up or to, you know, whatever. And I think that you kept moving forward despite all of that. And, you know, that is absolutely going to pay off for you. Let's dive into this more, Sagittarius. Let's look at this past energy. A personal issue reaches resolution. Nothing will come of this situation. I want more on this, because I was kind of confused by how these messages presented themselves, because the resistance thing didn't click until I was here in your current energy. So, and maybe that's the whole thing, is maybe like when you're going through it, you don't realize what's happening. But then once things start to shift, you go, okay, I see why things had to happen that way. In fact, I think that's exactly what that represents. Okay, let's look at this more though. Yeah, I mean, 10 of Swords. You guys, you've been through a lot. And I think that, well, let me see. Let's get more. Yeah, the 8 of Cups. Goodness, why are all the cards falling in my lap? 10 of Swords, 8 of Cups. The Fool in reverse. Preparation. You've been on a journey for a really long time. Not just since last year. You've been on a journey. I don't know if it could be a spiritual journey, it could be a growth journey, a healing journey, whatever you call it. And you've made a lot of progress on this journey, even if there have been times and situations that made you feel like you haven't made progress. You have made a lot of progress. And that progress has changed you in a lot of ways. It's changed your beliefs, your actions, the way you show up, the way you have conversations. Like, it's changed everything about you. And since your energy has shifted so much, and I don't think it happened all at once. This isn't, I definitely don't think it did. I think that this has been a really long time coming for a lot of you guys. This Fool in reverse is, you know, this need to not, if you hadn't have learned what you had, I don't feel like you would have been set up in the way that you have for whatever this is, this magic lucky energy. I feel like that's why things happened so slowly, and why there were so many, you know, times where it felt like things weren't happening at all, is not because things weren't happening, but because every step of this journey has led you to some sort of internal shift or some sort of healing that has helped shift you in new energy. What does Sagittarius need to know about their current energy? And I said this is like light at the end of the tunnel energy. I don't know if you fully feel this yet, though, or not. Oh, okay. There's a lot of frustration in this energy. I feel it. A lot of frustration here. You have a right to be frustrated too. But usually when we're frustrated, it's a need to surrender, to let go a little bit more. Queen of Pentacles. Right now is a time to really ground yourself. Find some grounding, especially if your emotions are all over the place, which I feel like they might be. Because as soon as I tapped in this energy, I felt a lot of frustration, a lot of emotion, which is natural and normal. And I think what's hard is like you do feel like you're doing everything right, and it just feels like things aren't working. But things are working. It's just that so much is shifting behind the veil. You haven't seen like how things start to come together. And I think that that's what 2026 is. It's like it all makes sense. Things start to come together. But right now, you don't get to know that. You don't get to know the how. You don't get to know what it looks like, because that defeats the purpose, right? Faith is about showing up despite it looking like it's not working out, despite feeling like, you know, things aren't shifting in your favor. And that's what manifestation is. It's how we show up in moments of resistance. If there's anything that's certain on any journey, it's going to be moments of resistance, or moments of fear, doubt, insecurity, when it feels like things aren't working out, where it feels like you're, nothing good is happening. How you show up in those moments is what you create. And the more we can show up in faith, the more that we can show up that everything is happening to move us closer to our highest good, the more we create the very things that we do desire. But it does require us to ground ourselves in the present moment, to not get so caught up in what we don't know or what we don't understand, to not get so caught up in fear or the fearful stories that we carry about the past or the future, but to really ground ourselves in where we're at right now, to look at how far we've come, to look at the work that we've put in, and seriously start to tell ourselves, like, there's no way that this isn't going to pay off. There's no way you're not going to get to where you're trying to go. You've done too much. You've come too far. Like, the more we ground ourselves in that, the more that we start to open ourselves up to the possibility instead of the fear that might have held you back for so long. So I think that, you are breaking out of a pretty intense cycle here. I feel like it's probably a past life cycle too, which means that it's one that's probably been buried like in your DNA for a while, which means that there is so much more to it, right? It might not even just be, past like one cycle. It could be multiple. It could be generational cycles. Like, I think that this is you've overcome, have dealt with so much energy that you're needing to give yourself a lot more credit for how far you've come, even if you're not where you wanted to be, at the beginning of the year. Even if you didn't make the progress that you think you had externally, you're making that progress internally. I think that, it's easier said than done, but really needing to trust the process and trust where this is taking you. Because I do truly feel it's taking you to exactly where you want to be. You just don't know how. You don't see that yet, which is the whole thing, right? So much of the journey is embracing what we don't know. So grounding is really, really important for you. Daily grounding. So you don't get caught up in all of the what ifs, because the closer we get to the end of a cycle, the harder it is, the harder things feel, the more doubt there is and fear there is, the insecurity there is, and The more that all of the things that we've worked so hard to break out of, all of those things start to arise again. It's like this final test of, like, you think like the cycle's been a class, and then toward the end of the cycle, right before you break it, it's like that's where you take everything that you've learned and you apply it. And I think that we have to understand that the closer that we get to the end of a cycle, like I've literally tried to learn to approach my life from like the more obstacles and challenges I experience to try to be like, you know what? Thank you, universe. This is helping me break a cycle, or this is helping me, step more into my power, or step more into alignment, or whatever the case is. Trying to look at, and it's not easy, to look at the struggle and be like, oh, this is great. And I'm not necessarily saying you should do that, but that's what faith is all about, right? Is trusting that everything is leading you closer to where you want to be. And I think that 2026 is when like pieces fall into place almost. What does Sagittarius need to know moving into 2026? It's like freedom, breaking yourself out of things. The Tower, the Temperance, or just Temperance, Four of Cups, the Hermit. I mean, this is literally the epitome of things falling apart so better things can fall into place. That is literally what this is saying. Because with the the Tower and Temperance here, it's like, after things fall apart, you kind of enter into this, or, when certain things happen, certain painful situations happen, you kind of enter into this in-between period, this limbo period where nothing better really comes along yet, but, what's behind you isn't really there. So you're kind of just like, I don't know where to go or what to do. That's where you create. That's where you manifest. How you heal, how you grow, how you evolve in that period determines what you create. And I think that you've kind of been in this period of, continuing to show up, even though, like I said, you have a lot of reasons, I'm sure, not to. Like, you have a lot of things that you've gone through, where it's like anybody would, kind of give up or throw in the towel in your shoes, but you didn't. And this Hermit is all about what's going on within. So, what does this create? Seven of Pentacles. This is like payoff of investment almost, because Seven of Pentacles is like investment that grows. You've been investing every single time that you chose to show up, that you chose to shift within, that you've it's like it all compounds almost. Knight of Wands is about, risks, moving forward in big ways. And I think 2026 is where, like I said, it all starts to make sense. Like, that's what I really hear. It all starts to make sense. The pieces start to unfold. Also, my stomach is growling. I feel like it's been growling in all of my readings recently. I'm eating a little later in the day, and I probably need to change that. But I think that what's happening is good, but maybe it doesn't feel like it, and it hasn't felt like it. But yeah, this 2026 energy is like, things have fallen apart, so better things can fall into place. But the thing is, you don't get to have the certainty of that, because having the certainty of that, literally, like, if the universe came down right now and was like, all right, Sagittarius, here's exactly what's going to happen, and here's what it's going to look like, and here's how it's all going to unfold, you just go, oh, okay, you kick back your feet, and you just relax until everything. You wouldn't learn, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't make the mistakes that you need to make in order to align further with the things you're trying to create. So, creating certainty in your life is about embracing uncertainty and trusting in the bigger picture. And I think that the more that you're able to do that, and that you're willing to do that, the more you're going to see things work out way better than you're currently expecting. I think 2026 is an exciting year. I think it will require you to take the risk of, I don't know if it's like one big risk or what, but I definitely feel like whatever, because you have Be Bold, and then you had the Knight of Wands, too, which is all about, vulnerability and putting yourself out there, risking failure, risking heartbreak, whatever it is. But I think that it allows the pieces to fall into place for you, which is obviously very exciting. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, ultimately looking at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So diving into that tangible advice, and then I've got an advice card to pull at the very end with my postcards from Spirit deck. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.